Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to print in our lab. So first off, at this point you should have your print file ready to go. You can see here that my print file is renamed with the size I'm printing and the word print. I have resized it for the size that I'm actually printing. And for my layers, I have my layer 0, sharpening, and brightening. If your file doesn't look like this, then you need to go back to the last video and make sure that you are creating a specific print file. But if you are here, come and check off with me. Well, actually call me over and I'll come look at your file and see that you've done everything correctly, and then we can move on for printing. So I'm going to go ahead and close this for now so you guys can see the exact process that you're going to do when you come to the computer. So let's close this and minimize. And what you're going to do is you should have your USB and save your print file to your USB. Plug in the USB to the little thing in the front of the computer. Let's see if I can hold it up. Boop, boop, there it is. It's connected to the keyboard. Okay, and your USB can plug right in there. So open your USB up, go to your print file, and drag your print file to the desktop. Alright, and so you can see that I have my print file here. It didn't move it off my USB, it's still on my USB. So at this point I can go ahead and eject this. This kind of just speeds things up for when we have a lot of people printing at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and eject. And when it's done ejecting, I'll go ahead and take it out, put it in my pocket, make sure that I'm not leaving my USB sitting here. Okay, so while that's happening, let's come over here to Photoshop and let me open up, oh, there it is. Let me open up my print file. Move myself back over here. All right. Now we can go ahead and hit Command P or go to File and Print. Now that's something you want to look out for is that because we do have two computers connected to each printer, we have what's called a USB switch that's sitting right on top of the computer. So you want to make sure that it's switched on to the same computer that you're printing on. And on the screen of the computer in the bottom left, there's a little sign that says login required. Under there, it'll say either M1 or M2. So we need to make sure that that switch is switched to. Right now I'm on M1. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. And yes, it switched to M1. If it wasn't on the right one, you just hit this little button here. So you could see in the photo we have a 1 and a 2. So if, let's say, I was on M2, you would just click on the M2. Now don't do this in the middle of when someone's printing. Wait till they're done printing and then switch it over, okay? All right. So once we've got that figured out, we want to make sure that you have some paper loaded. If you don't have paper loaded, you can go ahead and let me or the lab assistant know, and we will load some paper up for you. All right, so we need to get our settings figured out here. So first we're going to go ahead and click on the printer. Now for this computer, it's already set up here. Now if you were printing at home or maybe somewhere else where there's multiple printers, you would go ahead and select the correct printer. But in our case, we just have the one printer, so we're all good. Okay, now under the printer drop down, we're going to click on print settings. So here it is right here, click there. And let's wait for these settings to come up. Okay, so if it comes up looking like this, just click on the show details and some more information is going to come up. So first we need to figure out the paper size. Now right now it's set to US letter, which is 8.5 by 11, but I'm actually printing 12 by 18, but my paper size is, oh, wait a second, my paper size is 11 by 7. Okay, so yeah, I just realized I messed up what I was actually supposed to be resizing. So I'm not doing 12 by 18. So let's hit cancel. I actually need to go 8 by 12 because my paper is kind of an odd size. It's 11 by 17. So let me go ahead and resize this again. So let's go ahead and come up here to image size. Okay, so my width is actually 12, and hey, it's the same ratio. Sweet, that worked out. So we're gonna go 12 by 8, and I'm gonna click OK. Now at this point I should probably save it differently because this is wrong now, right? So let me actually take a step back. And we can go ahead and let this be. And I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Save As, and change this to 8 by 12. Oops. All right, 8 by 12. Save. Sweet. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish my sizing image size, and here we go. Okay, back on track. So let's go ahead and hit Command P to open up the printer settings. All right, and we have the printer done. Let's click on print settings, and now we need to put in our paper size. Now there's all kinds of presets already in here. And I'm pretty sure, oh, there is one 11 by 17. What do you know? US business. That's what it's for. So we can go ahead and click there. Now, let's say the right paper size wasn't already loaded in here. You can actually add custom sizes by coming here to Manage Custom Sizes and then hitting the little plus sign here, and then you would enter in the information. You don't have to worry about it this time though. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the 11 by 17. Sweet. All right, so now what we need to do is come over here to where it says layout, and we need to go down to printer settings. All right, so we need to check the media type. Now, the paper I'm printing on is actually this Red River. Hold on, let me show you guys real quick. This is in the way, and this is in the way. All right, so if you can see that we have Red River. It's a 60-pound polar mat. So polar, if you remember earlier when I was talking about papers, this is going to have a little bit more of a cool tone or blue tone. It doesn't look blue, but it has a very slight tone of blue. Let's see. And I'll show you guys in class some examples of warm tone next to blue tone so you can really see what I'm talking about. Now what's kind of sweet is that with the Red River papers, they give you a little sheet to kind of help you out with printing. So it says media setting recommendations, Epson photo. So for Epson photo printers, premium presentation paper matte. So that's the setting that we're going to look for. Okay, let's go media type, photo paper, and where is my matte? Oh, here we go, matte paper. There we go, ultra premium presentation paper matte. Awesome. Now we shouldn't have to really worry about the Super Photo 1440. That should be just fine. Oh, let me go ahead and close this down so you guys see what I'm doing. All right. So we've got that set up. All right, so for the color mode, right now it's set to Epson Standard. We actually want to turn this off, so no color management, because we are going to use an ICC profile specific to this paper. I'll get into that in just a second, but for now, just click on the off, no color management. Okay, awesome, and click save. Sweet, we're on our way. All right, So now you can see that since I selected a different paper, we now have a preview of what's going on here. But this isn't the orientation I want. I have a horizontal photo, but it's showing me as if it was printing as a vertical. So I'm just going to click where it says layout on the little man in the horizontal. All right, and there we go. That's giving us a preview of exactly what we would be getting. So now we need to go ahead and get a printer profile going. So right over here under color handling, I want to go to Photoshop Manages Colors. And once we do this, something kind of cool comes up. Well, actually, I'll get back to this in just a second. We have gamut warnings and paper whites, but this is going to make more sense once we get our ICC profile installed. All right, so if we were using like a standard, Epson paper or something, we already have a lot of them preloaded in here. And you can see right here, it is specific to the printer as well. We have P5000 series and then like premium luster photo paper. Now, from our little guide, we could go with what that said, but we can also download a custom ICC profile just for our paper and printer combination. So right over here, I have a link to this. And so what ICC printer profiles do is it gives your printer the technical information about the type of paper you're using, such as the thickness, the absorbency, and so you're going to get a bit better print when everything is in sync. So here's a link to Red River Paper's ICC profile download page. Paper manufacturers all have some type of page like this. So let's go ahead and click there. And if you notice under here, I do have another link to Adobe's page on printing with color management if you want to look more into this. And this is kind of a long video, so I'll let you guys watch it on your own time. But this is a really great video created by B&H about understanding a color managed workflow. All right, so let's get back into, here we go. So here's the Red River Paper site, and each site's going to look a little different, but we do have these basic steps. So we have the printer make. So I'm going to go Epson. What category? This is a SureColor model. Yes. Okay. SureColor model. All right. Find my printer. P5000. Okay, and now we can click find your profile, and now it's going to ask us to pick which photo paper we're using. And here is our polar matte, which is what I'm using, and you can see right away it started downloading a zip file. So let's go ahead and see where that went. So show in Finder. All right. And it is a zip file. So if you've never worked with zip files before, it's basically a way to compress larger files so that they're easier to download. So all I gotta do is double click, and it's gonna open this up. Oh, what happened? Unable to expand. All right, let me pause and do some let's figure out what's going on real quick. Okay, so we figured out what was going on. So it looks like this Mac was having an issue opening the zip file. Not exactly sure why, but we did a little bit of problem solving by opening it up on a Windows machine. It opened up fine there, put it on an SD card, pulled it over here to bring the profile. And here's the profile file right here, our color matte. So we're going to go ahead and install this. Now I'm going to show you how to install this. Obviously we're on a Mac. The process is similar for Windows, it's just in a slightly different location. But the best bet is to always just look up for your particular machine. So let's say I was working on, I don't know, a Dell or something. I would go to Google and say, how do I install profiles on my Dell so-and-so? How do I install ICC profiles? Okay, but anyway, so for this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and open. So I need to go to Finder, and here we have the Go menu item, if I hold down the Option key, library comes up. So I'm going to click here. And for this particular computer, we do need to go to the library right over here. And there is a place called Color Sync. See the folder right there? You click there, and then here's Profiles. So now I just need to go ahead and drag and drop this into here. And I do need to put in a password real quick. Don't look. All right, and click OK. All right, so it's been put into the folder. But if we go back over here to change the printer profile, we're gonna find that it's not here yet. So what happened? We just need to basically do a quick refresh by closing this. So I'm gonna click Done on the Print dialog box, and then I'm gonna hit Command P to bring it up again. And it should be here, fingers crossed. There it is, RR Polar Matte, sweet. So click on that. So now that I have my ICC profile loaded up and selected, I can play with these different boxes to see how my print is actually going to look. So we have a show paper white. Right now it's checked on. I'm going to go ahead and check it off. And you can see that the image got brighter. So what this is doing is, remember how I talked about how it's not gonna, your image isn't gonna look as bright on the print versus the screen? This is what they're trying to help you visualize. When I turn this on, they make the photo a bit darker so we can see that it's going to print darker. So you can see it looks a little darker. And if you also notice, the tone slightly changed. Remember, I'm printing on a cool toned paper, so when I take it off, it has a little bit of a warmer look to it. When I put it back on, it does get a little bit cooler. Now if I click on gamut warning, this is going to show me any areas that are outside of the printer's range, any colors that it cannot print, and luckily I turned it on and it's fine. This is usually an issue with super bright saturated colors. If you remember from when we talked about color spaces, you know, those areas that are like really red or really like ultraviolet, those are usually harder to print. So we don't have any issues, we're looking good. Okay, let's see, anything else? I think we've got everything figured out. Let's go back here real quick. And yep, I think we've got all of our settings figured out. It's time to go ahead and print. So I'm gonna hit print. Okay, so while your photo is printing, don't leave the printer, okay? You need to stay by the printer and be here for when the print is coming out. Because one of the things you're looking for is if there are any issues while it's printing. So some issues could be that there's lines in the print. That usually means that one of the inkjet heads is clogged and we need to clean it, and so you'd want to come and get me right away so we can go ahead and stop the print and not waste any ink. Some other issues are if you accidentally put or if I accidentally put the paper in upside down, the ink isn't going to look right on the paper. It's going to usually pool or spread kind of weird. So if your photo is coming out and it's just not looking right, come get me and let's stop the printing before we waste any ink. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for a moment while this prints. I'll be back in just a moment. Alrighty guys, so my photo finished printing and here she is. I know in this recording it looks a little dark, but I'll show it to you in class. It actually came out quite beautiful. Yay! Now the very last step you need to do is to go ahead and let's go ahead and move myself. We need to go ahead and clean up our desktop. You don't want to leave your file sitting here. We want to go ahead and drag it over here to the trash. Remember, this was just a copy. Your original is still on your USB. So go ahead and drag it to the trash. Make sure you've gotten your USB, and yeah, you're good to go.